got bags from Prada, rolling up. I'm in a brand new model. It'll be here tomorrow. I don't got fears or problems. Only got real ones round them. Only got. It take a week to count it. Then I'm back up. Name the place and we back up. Running these racks up. 100 million.
Coach, thanks. As mentioned, we are on the North Shore of Pittsburgh. It's sold out Heinz Field in the Steel City. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Miami Dolphins and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
You're outside.
54, right there. 54, Mike. Check.
Red 80.
Check. Watch out.
A first carry now for Nick Chubb. And some room to roam now. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there and a first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
In on the stop, it was Travarius Moore.
54, Mike. Check.
80. You ain't doing. Hey, Steve 6.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Darnold. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Here's Darnold. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. They could not contain Kenny Clark as he gets home for the sack.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. That'll be a 49-yard punt, 6 yards there on the return. And it'll be Dolphin football.
Run, 674.
Let's pick it up. It's out of time, guys. Out of time. Let's get off the field. Let's get up.
And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. Here's Lott. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Right, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Here's Lott. Open man is Westbrook, complete. 30. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
Now Lott. He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. From 4 yards out, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs, and that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
After the run, here's 2nd and 8 from the 27.
Hey, Charlie!
Darnold down to throw. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A first down there on a pickup of 25. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 48-yard line. Darnold. He sets to fire deep. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Check! Check! Blue draw Corker.
Check the backer. 6 guys. Check 6 guys.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And some space here. And now off to the races, down the right side. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Nick Chubb, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. As his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Extra point splits the uprights. And we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up 2nd down.
Well, the defensive guys won't be real happy because there won't be a sack on this play because he did get back to the line of scrimmage. But what a job they did overall. Hemmed him in and gave him nowhere to go with the football.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Luck is going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked by Kevin Byard. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd and 7, Darnold complete. Smith has it. A Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
To throw is Darnold. His throw caught right around the 6. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
That was an excellent read right there. Saw cover 1. That means it's just a single high safety. So you know if you throw the ball to the outside part of the field, help is going to be a little bit late getting there. And he puts one out there for a big-time completion.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll bring up a 2nd and goal.
Hey, box truck.
54, right there, right
Pilot, 60%.
Now Darnold. And this one complete to Smith. They get only a yard there. Now it's 3rd and goal.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
What's that?
Mike 5-4. I'm coming. Come.
Young lady.
Alert 3. Alert 3.
They're going to run the jet sweep on 3rd down. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to bring up a 4th and goal.
They went for broke on 3rd down, and it would have really lit up the sideline if that one had worked. What do they do now on 4th down?
And his kick is right there. It's good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens, because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. A tale of 2 extremes already in this game. A touchdown pass on their opening drive, followed by an interception last time out.
Now, it sounds like things balance out, right? What's that myth?
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And he will be brought down, but he's got the interception on a final play in his first quarter. 10-7 our score after 1 right here on EA Sports. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Well, what do you think? You get the ball off the turnover near the middle of the field. You take a shot here in the first play?
You know I'm big on that. I love when I have great field position after a turnover. I feel like I might have them a little bit off balance. I prefer to take a shot, but a lot of coaches will tell you only do it if you trust the guy who's got the football in his hands. Meaning, if it's not there, he won't force it downfield and maybe turn it into an interception. He'll go to the check down, go to a second option, and go ahead and take the play that's in front of him.
And he'll get this down close to a first down at about the Dolphins' 43-yard line.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Hey, world.
Mike 54.
They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. Shoves him aside. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Coaching spill.
Flare. Check nickel.
The lady. Hey, wahoo!
On first down, it's Darnold. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Takk McKinley made his way into the backfield. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done.
Check Mike 54. Mike 54. Hey, Orbit.
Now it's Darnold. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 22. And they are going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. This defense had 3 interceptions last week. They're on pace for more than that here, 2 in the first half.
Do not adjust your set. This is not instant replay. This is a defense that is locked in. They're essentially running the routes for the receivers and turning it into the receivers themselves, aren't they? I mean, it is amazing what I'm seeing because the reactions of those guys back on the back 7, phenomenal.
A Miami first down, that one going for a gain of 11.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Now following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12. Throwing is Locke. Now a hit, and Locke lost the football. It's out, and it's picked up by the Steelers. And he'll take this down inside the 15-yard line.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, these are going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
And again, he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
80 weapons. Hey, Delta.
Throwing here on 3rd down. Darnold to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant you the flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Out of the gun, Locke. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. The all-pro linebacker Luke Kuechly right there on the coverage, stride for stride.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
It seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down.
Squeeze, double. 59 mark, 59 mark. Check, 59. And let's get that ball, man.
Now Locke. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down.
He went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. A shotgun snap for Love. He's going to rifle one deep left. He's got a man. Complete. A big play there for the Dolphins. 44 yards.
Now that one hurts defensively. They force them into third and long, had the advantage, yet they give up the big play right there.
Yeah, their offense was already warming up on the sideline, ready to come out. So much for that 3 and out. Now a first down carry by Jones. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
X3, 218, chop.
Jones. And he'll get this pretty close to a first down as he's tackled at the Steelers' 31. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
Block on third down. And he completes it to Westbrook. 90 yards receiving now for him in the ball game. It's a first down.
First down, Miami.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. Long. He gets it to Thomas. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. A Miami first down, that one going for a gain of 11.
Recon, 132 fighter.
You got tight. You got tight right there. Check 13. 12.
From the red zone now, Locke. The open man is Westbrook. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. Throwing again on second down. Luck. That's taken in by the tight end Perkins. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Joshua Perkins, his first touchdown on the year. And now they can recapture the lead if they can make the PAT. Extra point hugged the upright a bit, but he gets it to go. And that will give him the lead here as we get on towards halftime. Time for our first check of the NFL scoreboard. It's the Rams that have grabbed the early lead. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Under a minute to play here in the half. Time for a late drive.
It makes sense when you think about it. Hey, try and get a field goal. Give yourself a lead going into the half. But if you're going to do this, you better have supreme trust in your quarterback. Supreme trust in the guy who's going to handle the football. Because if you turn it over here, not only do you go in down at the half, you've given the momentum squarely to your opponent.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10.
Hey, you don't want to see me. You don't want it. Check. Crunch. Red 80. Hey, turn it out.
Back to throw, Darnold. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 16. And he'll bring it all the way back, just a yard or two shy of midfield.
Let's go, baby.
That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 49. He's got it complete to Perkins. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
11. Go.
From the gun, here's Luck. Buying time to his left. Now he'll pull it down. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. But this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play, because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
On 2nd and 11 now. Darnold looking deep here for Ebron. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 40. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.